everyone. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with Stephanie. I am your host, Stephanie Buckland, and I am delighted to be interviewing my friend and colleague, Jamal, who's otherwise known as Kamau The Chakra DJ. And thank you so much for being here. I'm so
Thank
excited to
you.
start this interview, Jamal.
Thank you. Thank you. Just first, I want to thank you for not butchering my name. You actually said it with such fluidity. So thank you. I usually get Camus, Kamal, and it's just it's like where do you get all these extra symbols or letters from? So thank you so much. It's an
Yeah,
honor to be
absolutely.
here.
Welcome. Yes. So I would love to get us started by having you do an introduction about yourself, a little bit of your journey, and
Okay.
what led you into becoming Kamau, the Chakra DJ.
Ooh, all right. So that in itself is like the BLT of all questions, or vegan BLT for my plant-based audience out there. Um, so for me, oh man, I always like to tell it with this story. I always was the type of person that, like, say, on a road trip, that I like to be in control of the radio station, or even the music. And I've never been like a Radiohead, which is one of my favorite groups. And I just always, for me being a DJ, and not to like sway too much, but being a DJ is more of an introduction of who I am. I like to be innovative. I like innovative sounds, and I like to be purposeful. So um, I got into DJing by man. That's really ooh. So I got into DJing because, yeah, like I said, I just enjoyed hanging out at a couple of friends' house when I used to live back home in New Jersey, and they just liked the fact that, like, oh, what's that sound or whatever. So I love having that effect as far as like introducing people to new sounds, new just waves of audio and audibles.
Nice.
And as I started to like develop spiritually, my name Kamau actually came to me, and it represents, or it means, as a Kenyan name, which means silent warrior. And that's pretty much how I am. I always choose my battles. I attack in a more reserved manner when necessary, and I just like to be strategic. And plus, my history being in the military is also fitting. And if I shared like some past lives with you, it would just be fitting. Um, but I also love the birth name that my mother gave me, which Jamal means beauty. But yeah, as Kamau, I am being the silent warrior of, just the effect of like the sounds that are out here. So for me, and if as far as like expressing and explaining like my origin and my journey, I just came to an awakening of our connection to vibration itself, and from vibration, just as you will read in the Bible, how Jacob begat Saul and such, um, vibration begat sound, and sound begat music. So, I just, being a person that just always asks questions about our existence, as this book that I'm reading called The Magician by Phil Cooper says, you have to always ask the question why. And for me, I just continue to ask the question why? Why? Why do we only hear the same sounds on the radio? Why is the music, like, say, from my community, always a detriment to like our mindset? We're trained to, in so many ways, subliminally through music. And as I began to understand that, okay, music, sound, vibration, it's all part of us. So if we're out of balance because of the music that we listen to, we have to come back into that alignment. So I feel like, my purpose was to bring people back to alignment. Hence where I came with the idea or the concept of bringing people to a proper audio diet. And that's my purpose. I think I shared with you in our talk personally
Beautiful. Yeah.
about, find your purpose, make it your passion, and watch all obstacles be removed. So
Yeah. That's beautiful. So is that what led you to choose the Chakra DJ as your DJ title?
yeah. So funny story. I honestly, like, something just resonated with me about chakras or chakras. And I never knew, like, as vastly as I do now, of like the effect of the chakras. I mean, I knew where they were. I knew that we have, well, more than seven, but seven that are focused.
Right.
And I mean, as I just continue to like live within that vibration of the chakra DJ, it just kept coming to me. And I mean, I'm I'm to a point where I can proudly say that, I mean, I have a certain wisdom that isn't generically or commonly known about the chakras, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just came to me, and I just live within it, you know.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me see. So you already answered the second question.
All right. I don't mind elaborating if I
Okay, here's a good one. How do you believe your music and DJing contribute to the well-being or spiritual aspects of your audience?
Oh, so, well, to pontificate on like what I originally stated as far as just bringing people to a proper audio diet, I shared also that I used to be where I am a military vet, and kind of like sharing a little bit, tapping into the origin. I decided that instead of from the elements that I acquired from being, in the military, and I attribute it to, I decided that I wanted to heal myself. So just as I was sharing with you, like certain projects that I'm working on right now that'll soon be released, I decided, I need to share this with others and share
Yeah.
this with the world. So um, it's necessary. Like when I realized that, DJs in a sense have a superpower, and once I started to like figure out and see where it aligns, like, oh my gosh, like with the shamanic abilities, like when you think of like
Yeah.
creating something, yeah, like you're everything is mental, and that taps into the principles, the universal principles, mentalism, vibration, correspondence, uh and I don't want to fail mention it, but like polarity, duality, like just so many. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. I grew a passion and decided to bring that forth. It's kind of like
Nice.
Moses when he went up to the mountains and had to come back down, so
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your past experience. So reflecting on your past DJ experiences, could you
Mhm.
share a memorable moment or an event that had a significant impact on your career?
Oh man, do you mind if I share like a few? Because
Oh, go for it.
this, yeah. Well, most recently, I just aligned with Yoga Expo LA, and just to share a little bit of tragedy. Uh, I reacted off of the catharsis effect from having lost my home due to a fire, and I have this drive in me where when things seem to try to put me at my lowest, I see it as a test. It's actually, to share a little bit of a snippet of something that I wrote. The thing that I realized about challenge is that right in between that is our lens, and we have to take that out and see the change that is affecting. Because
Hmm.
with challenge or with change may come challenge, and vice versa. Might with challenge comes change. So
Mhm.
I accepted that, because that can kind of be our hindrance when we aren't able to accept things,
Right.
especially when we make a plan, and it just does not go the way we expect it to. You know, to kind of go off of Don Miguel Ruiz from his book The Way of the Shaman, and I might be confusing him with Don Miguel Jr., but The Way of the Shaman, where it talks about going with the season. So I just decided to just, you know, go with nature and reach out with a lot of different demographics that I feel, you know, uh, my unique style or unique science. And yeah, so one memorable experience just happened maybe about a week ago when I went to LA for the first time in my life, 44 years. And I provided my science and sound to the Yoga Expo LA. Then I'll be joining you soon. So you know, it's looking at time as now, before, and what's to come. Yeah, like I mean, just being able to provide like publicly. I play for places that allow me to have or to act with intention. Uh, Inclusion Festival, which is out in Pennsylvania, I was able to provide my sound and science, and they have a beautiful campaign where they include all people of all sorts, all I'll say, I hate to say disabilities because they're like actually more able than a lot of us.
Mhm. But for
So,
neurodivergence and different
yes, yeah.
um so yeah, I had friends in that industry that called them different abilities.
Oh, I like that.
I
I
like
like
it.
that. Yeah, you just, I love it. I love it. That's exactly how. Because yeah, there's nothing disabled about them. Like I mean, there's one artist. His name is uh and pardon if I fell with prop. I know his name is Gooch. So if Gooch, and I forgot his band's name, but this brother can flow. He can sing. He can hit the guitar. He can hit the piano. Like he's multi-talented. And the only thing is that he's confined to a wheelchair. I
Yeah.
mean, he's doing more things than a lot of us can. I mean, even myself, uh, that goes beyond. You know, another opportunity that I was able to embrace was, oh man, performing with one of my favorite conscious lyricists. He goes by the name Kufnats. Uh, he's pretty much like a local legend out here in the Delaware Valley River. I mean, but he goes everywhere. I mean, he's touring all over Alaska. So to be able to like be in the presence of like creative greatness of him and many others, Ginger Lynn, Mac Davis, uh, or A Mac Davis, uh, Christina Lease, uh, yeah, and oh goodness, also being able to align with the Ecstatic Dance Group, and yeah, I can go on, and it's just been wonderful because it's all been a short time. Like I mean, in all honesty, technically I've only been DJing, and I don't know if I'm skipping questions, but I've only been DJing for about 12 years, but mobily it's been about, I say 5, and it's a lot
Wow.
that I have
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So how have you evolved is the word that I'm trying to get out of my mouth.
Mhm.
How have you evolved as a DJ since you started?
Ooh, you got some great questions. uh, Great and fun questions. So I've evolved because, oh, you know, the cool thing about being, I would say, well, as I title myself as a melody magi, a shamanic DJ, or just a metaphysical artist, or as I say, a muse physician, I I've learned to not limit myself as far as what I'm able to do. So
Right.
before, you know, when I used to DJ and I found that, oh, I'm technically making a new song right here as I blend this song with that song and that element together, which goes into the main mind frame of metaphysics because you have earth, wind, fire, and water, right?
Right.
So yeah, I used to lessen myself by saying, "Oh, I'm not yet a producer."
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I I most recently, I think 2 weeks ago, uh confirmed like my first album, and I'm about to work on a second one. Um
Right. Right
and
on.
and there's no limit. So production has been one thing. And yeah, even just from my soundscape, you can go from, let's see, I started, like I said, doing mobile DJing or getting out of the basement and providing my sounds to the
Mm-hmm.
world. I
Mm-hmm.
say 2018. You can definitely hear the transition, like from my sound selection, uh, how I use certain elements, and just even my knowledge of like how it affects us all. So
Well,
it's so
yeah,
many ways. Yeah.
that's awesome. Hmm. So who or what inspires your music choices as a DJ?
Oh man. So I'm hoping he gets this because I'm a number one fan. And I normally don't fan over people like that, but I always got a story. So I started listening to this DJ station on YouTube called Boiler Room,
Hmm.
and that actually adds to like what inspired me to become a DJ and put my sound out, because I was inspired to like make sure I'm on that channel, and and I have a show one day. But I'll never forget when I watched DJ Jazzy Jeff, or Jeff Townsend, who's actually somewhere around here in Delaware, and I just never forget like how he explained in his 13-minute interview before his set of what it is to DJ. And I used to skip over it, like I just wanted to listen to his mix. And I remember like I used to skip over like probably like 8 times before I actually listened to him speak. And yeah, definitely him. I have a lot of hip hop influences. Um, so I can mention like, Tribe Called Quest and whatnot. And
Oh
then there's
yeah.
other, yeah, and but then that got into like, learning and understanding like the art of sampling. So of course I'm wearing an ancestor shirt, Jay Dilla, um, who is also influenced, but he's also an ancestor now. Um, but yeah, there's so many. I mean, uh, oh my gosh, like there's so many names. Fela Kuti, uh there's a new group out in Virginia called Butcher Brown that I really enjoy, because you can always hear where they evolve as far as their sound and their style.
Mm-hmm.
I just like artists that don't stay in a certain range, and that's why, and I'm really like a fan of like a lot of independent artists. Like anywhere I go, I show support when there's a live band. I remember I was in what country? I think it was South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to excuse me that my Mercury mindset like just it's going so fast that I can't remember the name. They're in my playlist though, but there was a rock band, and I'll probably share it in like the comments of this post
That's
when it
perfect.
comes to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like it's a lot of influences that I have, a lot.
Right on. I heard a lot of jazz in your music. Are there
Yeah.
specific jazz influences in there?
Uh, Actually, to sum it up, which I don't mind being extensive. If you don't mind me being extensive, but to
Go for
sum
it.
it up, all right. Well, I'll start with the fact that my father. I think that any child can always thank their parents for their musical taste and musical upbringing, because if it wasn't for my dad playing a lot of like his favorite is Miles Davis. And then like when I discovered like Miles Davis energy, like I would like to say I actually kind of have that Miles Davis type of energy where I just want to be with the music. I don't have
Yeah.
time to socialize. I'm here for the purpose, not for personality. And yeah, like definitely my dad, one. And then of course I mentioned Miles Davis, Boney James. Boz Skaggs, who else? Oh my God, of course, Thelonious Monk, uh, uh, oh, Michael Franks. I used to listen to that on my own. Like my dad didn't even have to sell that to me. Like when I heard Sam Paku and Tiger in the Rain, oh man, like yeah. Like I always acclaim artists like that, him, Sade. That was like the neo soul before neo soul became neo. So but yeah, those are like some of my influences. I mean, there's a lot of others that are like in my playlist that, Charles Mingus, um, Herbie Hancock, like I can go on. I can go on.
It's beautiful. I am a musician as well. I'm an alto. I sing. I don't play any
Ooh,
instruments,
all
but
right.
I love to sing. So that is something that, when I was like, I get to interview a DJ. This is so exciting.
Oh man, it's not even gonna be an interview. It's gonna be just our regular
We're just
conversation
gonna
about,
gush.
yeah,
Yeah,
like what's on your playlist? Like,
that's awesome. Okay, so next question. How do you stay connected to your creative inspiration, especially in an industry that is constantly evolving?
so you know what? I learned, not to sound self-absorbed, but I learned from myself. I listened to my old style and I pull from what I should keep and capture, but
Hmm.
then also watch how I'm evolving and elongate on that. Um, and in my older style, I used to play more of what was contemporary and what was uh, called for by fans. I think I shared when we were talking personally that I started off playing like a lot of lo-fi music, and the reason why I like some of the lo-fi stuff because you can hear some of the newer music that's out or the stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to because I don't. Well, I'm sure no one that listens to trap music is on here, but I can never gravitate to that because to me that's just that's the de-evolution of what
Hmm.
I grew up on, hip hop itself. And
Yes.
so yeah, but the way I stay evolving is I just continue to look at I continue. You know what? I'm going to coin a term, and maybe I should trademark it, but I creatively shadow work. You know, I look within and I pull out. I pull from out.
Process the demons.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or as the healer community likes to say, unpeel the onion. Because it's like layers. You pull off one layer and there's more trauma, and then another layer,
Mhm.
there's a demon. Another layer, there's another
Exactly.
shadow.
Exactly. And yeah, like I mean, because I oh man, like I can recall like I mean like my startup days where I used to play along with a few other DJs, and that's how I used to get my own gigs. I didn't have that pull like I did as far as like when I reached out to you and even like the LA Expo, just like cold calling and just promoting myself. But even when like I used to perform, I used to play pre-made mixes because I just didn't feel comfortable doing what I did in the basement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Down, down out into the public. So my confidence has definitely grown, and that process was I I exercise a form of alchemy, or in the electrical or telecommunications field, transmodulate, where I take that nervousness of, oh my God, do I have everything? Do I have my cords? Is it plugged in? Oh, why don't I hear anything coming out of my headphones? Okay. And then just take that as that's part of the show. This longer wait is part of the anticipation because when you you hit them with that first sound, you're gonna pull them in.
Hmm.
So, you know, that and I use a lot of my heart. A lot of my heart. Definitely.
Yep.
So
Beautiful. I can relate to that. A lot of what I do is heart centered.
yes.
So your approach as the chakra DJ is definitely a unique approach.
Thank you.
Can you elaborate on how you incorporate the chakra concepts into your music? And what kind of impact do you hope that it has on your audience?
Uh, well, so the chakras, by my perspective, because I feel like each person's chakra affects them differently,
Mhm.
and for that they gain a different perspective. There is no one way. That's what it is to be spiritual. There is no one way, because then if you have that one way, my observation, no one has to agree with me on that because I stay neutral. I'm more of a nexus type of energy. I'm right in between. I agree with you as well as you. Um, Basically, what it is that, and I'm getting a little channels a part of me, but what it is that I do is honestly, again, starting from the heart, because if we know that, everything below from the root, sacral, solar plexus is all on a material plane, and then everything after the heart above is divine. It's all about coming in convergence. Now, on a technical note, my selection as in knowing that, okay, if I put more bass, that's affecting people who wants to be affected by their
Lower
root.
levels, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Flute, dealing with the throat chakra. Guitar, piano, which is when I'm playing from my heart. If I have that selection from the heart, so it's again, like the chakras are so multifunctional. That's why you could have an on balance or off balance chakra, and depending on who I'm playing for, which usually the audience is
A
diverse.
higher vibe, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's because I've had people I didn't even expect that came to me and said, "I see why you call the chakra DJ." Like when I tell them my name, and it's an honor. Like I just do, like I said, I do from the heart because I want to be able to capture everybody from every field or side that they're on. Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, okay. Now, every career has its challenges.
Yes, it does.
Can you share a challenging moment that you faced in your DJ career and how you overcame it?
Oh my goodness. I'm well, aside from this connection, which I'm very, very looking forward to the Golden Road with. Um, oh man, I can tell you this: being being a DJ in a city that is so full of so much talent, but again, like with the music and the airwaves, just having like a certain convolution to it, and just trying to get yourself out there, because when you let people know, hey, I'm the Chakra DJ, not DJ Chakra, or not just the DJ. I don't take requests. I play from here. So some of my challenges, oh man, like honestly, if I could just tell you the first thought that came to mind when you asked me that,
Yeah.
uh, there was an event that I was playing, small time. I don't even think I got paid for it, and but I was just trying to really like try to get my name out there, and also help some people out. And plus, I a lot of times, and in all honesty, if we didn't have a system where the concern was for currency or money, or if something else was in circulation for currency, like love or bartering,
Hmm.
oh, I'd be playing all day. I'd be playing a lot more than I do. But um, yeah, I decided I was going to play from my heart, and plus take into account that a lot of times listening to the advice of those that know, or I thought knew more than me at the time. um yeah, you got to get your name out there, so you can't really expect to get this or that, and plus I wasn't at the level with my craft. But uh I remember I was playing for a poetry jam, and I think their event started at either 9 or 10, and it lasts for a while. And I remember that, I didn't have a car. I was in Philadelphia, and I was like transitioning between like my home and whatnot. So I wasn't able to like make it back to Delaware at the time where I was living. And I remember I had to like wait like right in front of where the building is for the trolley. And if anybody is from West Philly knows that we have tons of trolleys like on a certain part. And but it started raining and I didn't have an umbrella. I had my control. Well, it was it was an older controller at the
Oh
time.
no.
Yeah, and I don't even think I really had like a real case for it. I think I used to carry it in like a bag, like a book bag or something like that. And or no, I think I used to just carry it and just hope that like nobody thought it was like worth, you know, taking because you know you're in Philadelphia, certain parts of Philly. But yeah, that's like the only memory that pops up. I mean, I've had other trying situations like I forgot my memory box or my external hard drive for one gig. I was supposed to play for like the Germantown Farmers Market, and I had to wing it. I had to play what was already in there in my laptop and just kind of like fake the funk,
To
pull.
make it
Yeah,
work, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I mean, every business has its own challenges, so I can
yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Um, what about future endeavors? So looking ahead,
Hmm.
what exciting projects or endeavors do you have in the pipeline for the Chakra DJ?
Well, near coming, the most near coming would be I'm aligning with you, coming out there to Arizona, and
Mhm.
gonna enjoy just providing my energy for the next 4 days. Hopefully, maybe afterwards.
That'd be
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and um, I'm currently awaiting to hear back from some mental health awareness organizations because uh, you know to not forget the the purpose that I've aligned and attuned to, which is to be of service and like work on certain neurological issues because like myself as a military member having been diagnosed, but I would say cured of anxiety and PTSD. Um, I want to provide this service to other veterans. I want to provide this service for patients with uh, like elderly patients with like dementia or other neurological issues. Um, and also like to kind of double back as far as the question that you asked me about what how did I get started? Because there's like I said, there's a few catharsis to my evolution, and you know, the reason why like I focus a lot on the neurological aspect of it because we don't pay attention to the fact that music itself can affect us whether we know it or not. That's
Right.
why, yeah, when you watch a movie, there's certain notes, that they'll play for suspense, certain notes they'll play for love, and it's just certain elements in the movie that music is applied for. Um, you wouldn't go to a concert and there's no music. It's just like when you look at thousands of people in one crowded area, you would not normally do that except for music. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to providing my service, especially for certain locations like certain counties around here, and I'm looking forward to coming out more to like Arizona, uh, California. Uh, I had some people talk to me about doing even retreats. So
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
think we even talked about that. I don't. I think we
Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully I wasn't reading your mind there, but yeah.
Okay, if you do. That's awesome. I love it. I think that you'll be very well received. This is
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Um, okay, so my next question is about giving back to our community.
you. Yeah.
Advice for aspiring DJs. So, for
Mhm.
any aspiring DJs who might be listening, what
Okay.
advice would you give them as they embark on their own journey into the music industry?
That's a, I'm telling you, you should get like a medal for these questions. Oh my goodness. um, what I would give as far as advice to aspiring DJs, it's the same advice I give my children. It's the same advice I tell myself or anybody that is close to me, which is to find and discover your own value. From that, when you find your own value, you're able to figure out and confirm your own distinction. Um, I didn't become Chakra DJ or Archie Angle Melody Magi because I wanted to sound like somebody else. I knew that I had a small budding passion that it grew from reception, from my extraction, and also from self evaluation. So, you know, follow those components. Like, just always check yourself. Make sure you're being the individual that you're supposed to be. Because one thing that I've learned in my evolutionary process is that, you know, shadows or shadow work. And I actually kind of shared this thought in one of my upcoming meditations is that shadows can be both benevolent and malignant. If I can get that word out right.
Mhm.
Because when we look at the fact that in the course of darkness, it can help guide us when we use the right stars. And we can also get lost within it too, trying to be under someone else's shadow. So try to just mainly focus on finding your distinction and just being true to who you are.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, are there any other messages or takeaways that you hope your audience gets from your music when you're playing?
uh Honestly, and I'm always just quick to say that I rather my music or my selection of music speaks for itself. Uh, I always observe that music itself can tell a story, and I feel at such an advantage to be able to have an assembly and an access to be able to tell so many stories. So
Awesome.
hopefully, you can hear my story when I play.
I cannot wait to share this with the world. So, do you have any closing thoughts that you'd like to share? Any inspiration? Anything else?
Wow. Wow. What do I? I mean, I already use my my usual mantra, which is just finding that purpose, making it,
Yeah,
and knocking out those obstacles.
right
So
on.
yeah.
Okay. How can people reach you if they want to hire you or bring you into their events? How can
Um.
they reach out to you?
Yeah, that's very simple. As long as you just remember two components: your chakras and a DJ. So just go to www.chakradj.com, and it has all of my links and everything. Yeah, I can be booked. I can also I'm also providing online Patreon subscriptions where I actually have special meditations and special blends, which will focus on target areas of my client, inspired either by my clients or just what comes to mind. Um, so yeah, like I said, after this, I'd say maybe in 24 hours you can expect to see a new meditation album coming up.
Woo!
Um, yeah, so but yeah, Chakra DJ, www.com, Chakra DJ, and you can find me any kind of way by typing that in. Not DJ Chakra, because there is another DJ Chakra out there. Um, yeah, Chakra DJ or Kamau, Kamau, the Chakra DJ.
Okay.
Easy to find.
Excellent. And there will be links in the description below. If you're not sure, if you don't know how to spell it, whatever, it'll
Yeah.
be down there as well. Thank you so much, Jamal. This was awesome.
Yeah, no, thank
I
you, Steph.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Such an honor. I'm excited to like spend spend energy in the same space as you and others that are acquainted like you, because like good energy keeps great company. So
It really does. Nice.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.